You shouldn't be mad. You shouldn't be angry. You should always try to resolve all your conflicts. Yes, we always get 3 opportunities in order for us to actually manifest our destiny. Yes, your ability to collaborate gives you the opportunity to actually get new friends, partnerships, and actually connections. Yes, this person has 10%, you have 10%, and you both come together, and now you have 20%. But you can take the second aspect, which will be you two fighting, and then you two bickering, and then you two not getting along, and then what causes the situation? The person who started off with 10%, he's considered the victor, but he ended up with 5% because of the fighting, the bickering, and now the loser, who's considered what? The one who needs to get back, the one who needs to improve, he ends up with 3%. We could have both collaborated and did the first thing and actually had 20%. But then we couldn't de-escalate our tension of pride, ego, heart, and now we fought, and now we've got situations to happen, and now we're less than we could have became if we actually combined together. And the third aspect will be what? Orthogonality, a concept in mathematics that simply states you leaving the situation and the equation to bigger, better, and greater things. Yes, this happened with gangster rap music. Death Row Records, the preeminent record label in the 1990s, had this same situation. They were pioneered by a big bad bodyguard who was a what? Who was an angry guy and who was a guy that actually dealt with a lot of violence. Suge Knight. And we had Tupac Shakur, we had Snoop Dogg, and we had Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre had the opportunity to actually stay on Death Row Records, but he was threatened for his life with Suge Knight. He could have taken the number 2 aspect and actually fight, bicker, end up going to jail, and end up going to court having to be judged by a jury of 12, or end up dying and having to be carried by 6 pallbearers. But he took the third aspect, which was what? Orthogonality. He left Death Row Records and actually created Aftermath. And Aftermath made hundreds of millions and became a big behemoth in rap music. Aftermath discovered Slim Shady, Marshall Mathers in '99. One of the most successful rappers in music entertainment history was discovered by Dr. Dre. The next artist who was discovered under Dr. Dre was what? 50 Cent, another music pioneer and another music mogul. All started with Dr. Dre. So what if Dr. Dre took option 2 and he was fighting with Suge Knight and they were going back and forth, they were bickering, and now he ends up in jail like Suge Knight and he doesn't become the billionaire that he currently is now because he took option 3, orthogonality, living a situation and actually prospering to a better equation and situation. Yes, another aspect would be Snoop Dogg. He actually left the situation because his life was being threatened by Suge Knight. So he had to leave, and now he's been able to succeed as somebody who controls his brand and as somebody who's going on to bigger and better things. But the person whose fate was actually short-stopped was somebody who was in a vehicle in 1996 on September 26th. And what happened? It was Tupac Shakur's last death. Yes, Tupac Shakur's death was actually happened when what? Suge Knight was in the car and he actually was shot. Suge Knight was walking and going around with bad energy and bad situations. And that was what caused Tupac Shakur to actually what? Face his early demise. So I want us to actually take option 1, which is us collaborating and actually coming together and creating a great equation, or option 3, practicing orthogonality, living a situation and going to a higher frequency, and then you're getting better. In relationships, orthogonality happens. You break up with your spouse, you break up with your girlfriend, you're all miserable for the first 2 months, and then 3 years, a year from now, you're in a better, happier relationships, and you hear word that your ex just got married. But you don't care because you've moved on. That is what orthogonality is. Your ability to leave the equation and actually prosper instead of fighting, bickering, and arguing, which would be number 2. Or you can actually stay in the equation and situation and work on it, which will give you the ability to actually collaborate with people very rarely. Because I want us to know that our life is not just a single outcome game. Our life consists of multiple situations that happen in our process. We always have to deviate, reiterate, and actually progress. So I want us to know that we constantly have these three options. For what? For tension de-escalation. One, I either stay and work on the equation in order for us to collaborate. You're bringing the apples, I'm bringing the mangoes. Okay, together we should get a smoothie stand and let's create what? Let's create an experience and let's create something that the people need. Or we can fight and bicker and then I end up with 10 apples and now you end up with 5 mangoes, and who wins and who loses? Nobody wins when the family feuds. So I want us to know that there is no love lost whenever we take the high road of number 3, when we actually practice what Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Kendrick Lamar, and actually people do daily. Take the high road. Go out and create your own situation instead of you keeping yourself in the same situation that's debilitating. And this gives you the opportunity in order for you to be tremendous and actually move forward. You have to know that your life consists of multiple little details, multiple little situations that actually give yourself an opportunity to cultivate new beginnings. Dr. Dre could have been Tupac Shakur. He could have been in that vehicle on that lonely, fateful night. But he actually took the high road when Suge Knight came and asked him for his masters in a threatening way. He had a gun in his head and told him, you better sign these papers. And Dr. Dre was like, I believe in myself. I believe that I can create another product that's better than Death Row Records. So yeah, it doesn't matter. Jerry Heller did me wrong and Eazy-E did me wrong in the NWA situation with Ruthless Records. Yes, and now I'm getting the same plight at Death Row Records. So I'm just going to leave and create my own situation and get better. And this is what Dr. Dre did, and now he's a business mogul. He's worth $1 billion. Puff Daddy is worth $1 billion. Snoop Dogg is a business mogul. But the people who were actually very close and couldn't get past their tension de-escalation, Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight, are both, one is dead and the other one is incarcerated. So I want us to always know that tension de-escalation is something that's very serious. We have to be calm and practice emotional maturity, because that gives us the stamina in order for us to actually tell ourselves, are the consequences or the risk of me actually what? Fighting, bickering, being violent. Are they worth the benefit of actually me collaborating and me creating a situation where I can further work with people on the left, people on the right, and actually create a great living for myself? This is something that's unique, and this is something that gives us the ability to actually work with others from different creeds, backgrounds, and actually shades. So I want us to know that you always have to evaluate your start and evaluate the momentum of your mindset. So I want us to know that we always have option 1 and option 3. Our ability to collaborate in order for us to elevate will always be number 1. And number 3 will be our ability to practice orthogonality and actually leave the situation and balloon into a big behemoth. This is what causes businesses and owners and customers to actually have a lot of friction. Take example, Eric Yuan, the great CEO of Zoom Incorporated. Yes, the video conferencing app. Yes, it's been big lately and everybody since the pandemic has turned it into a verb. Yes, we don't call video conferencing anymore. We call it Zoom. And that is because he had the insight in order for him to actually collaborate with investors and actually grow his brand and grow his product to big enterprises and actually to make it a customer-facing product. And this is the product that he actually created that's actually helping people get past this situation. So this is what you have to practice on. Our ability to collaborate, our ability to leave the situation and become a big behemoth. I tell us to actually not take option 2, fighting, bickering, yelling, and actually wanting one of us to actually go to court, one of us to actually die, and one of us to actually not try. But the third option would be us leaving the situation, getting better, and making your ex regret the fact that they didn't believe in your potential. So I wanted you to know that this is the opportunity you get to actually de-escalate whatever tension you face. And this gives you the opportunity in order for you to get past the pandemic and move past your excuses and actually prosper, because life is not about a guaranteed outcome. Life is a multitude of tiny situations that actually lead you to your main outcome. So you always have to trust the process. But the process will always need reiteration and for you to actually work on it consistently. So I want you to know that the process ensures survival. So I want you to actually work on your revival. If you've liked anything that I've said, like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with something humongous and something dynamic on your Smart Continues. Like, comment, and subscribe. Goodbye.